Hey guys, Eric and Jim here to talk about this huge news. Marvel, every time we think they've told us all the big stuff,
Right.
something else.
There's always another shoe to drop with
Another
that.
shoe to drop. So 4 TV shows, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, all coming to Netflix, and they're all going to lead into the Defenders team-up miniseries. What do you think, Jim?
I think that this was inconceivable just even 5 years ago. I mean, it is an amazing time. A whole generation of young little fanboys are going to just be spoiled with all the great stuff that they're going to be able to get. It's nice that there's finally a plan now for Daredevil, now that they have him back. And I think the fact that it's a much more street-level show and that it's on Netflix, and so you could have more R-rated type material. You could have swearing, you could have nudity, you could have a bit more, gritty violence maybe, especially with a character like Daredevil.
I feel like they're probably not going to go R-rated level. They're not going to go House of Cards level, but I do think that it will allow them not to have to be like S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. is aimed as a family show, and I think that's fine for what that is, but I think they're taking some very specific characters known for edgier material, and that they'll let it be a little grittier, like you said, and it won't have to be quite so, cheerful all the time.
Well, it's also, too, it opens up the door to perhaps other Marvel characters making appearances. Maybe Frank Castle, maybe Kingpin, maybe he's like the overall kind of unifying bad guy in this. We don't know.
Yeah, it's a great group of characters, I think, to use. Daredevil, I think a lot of us had said would make a great TV show. It kind of has a little bit of a procedural element with him being a lawyer mixed with this great down-to-earth crime fighter. And it sounds like they'll be very interconnected shows. I mean, it made it sound like they all take place in Hell's Kitchen. So that, you could set up the characters knowing each other, and they're all pretty tied together, especially, obviously, Luke Cage has close relationships with Iron Fist and Jessica Jones in the comic books.
It's not even that rough of a neighborhood anymore.
I know.
Life, so.
In this version, though, it's a horrible neighborhood.
It never got better there. But I think it's going to be amazing, too. Like, how many other kind of subsidiary characters? Does this mean then we're going to have Elektra come back? Are we going to have Ben Urich and characters like that? In how much does it bleed into the established Marvel universe? Will there be references to, will you see Stark Tower in the background? I don't know.
I feel like, they didn't make it explicit in the press release that it's going to take place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but how could it not? They're using characters we haven't seen yet there. I can't see it being its own separate thing, and I do think, we are getting to the point now that we know we're going to meet these 4 characters, where if Avengers 3 is some, we need everyone to fight Thanos, it's like, now we got a bunch more characters to call in,
And I do think that these particular characters, though, are, for example, Power Man and Iron Fist, Heroes for Hire definitely lends itself to, sort of a case of the week TV series, and I think they really did pick the right characters to start with, and they were trying to do Jessica Jones before at ABC.
But, again, it is the Netflix model, so we're going to get 13 episodes, presumably all at once, which means I think that's great for these characters. It'll be more focused, 22 episodes. Sometimes you get that sort of middle of the season lag. This will be, much sort of focused story, and since it's aiming towards Defenders, I think, well, like you said, maybe it's the Kingpin. We'll see that there'll be a serialized element that will really bleed through all these shows.
And also the Defenders, when I was growing up, the Defenders was a very different lineup, so could there be a reference, though, to, say, a Dr. Stephen Strange in Greenwich Village? We don't know. It's the possibility of all these other things that could now happen, just in addition to this already cool little universe that they're starting on TV. It's a very exciting time for fanboys like us. We're wearing Marvel shirts.
That's right. Very exciting. I'm betting almost anything we're going to meet attorney Matt Murdock will show up on an episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. or a Marvel movie in the next 2 years, and maybe some of these other characters too, now that they can start casting them.
Yeah, I would expect maybe not particularly well-known actors either. You could open the door to rising stars now too.
Marvel is now such the brand. It's, they put it at the front of all their movies, TV shows for a reason, and this is really just showing how ambitious they are at this point. Like you said, couldn't have even thought this is possible a few years ago.
It's an amazing time to be a fanboy.
It is indeed. Let us know what you think in the comments, and we'll have plenty more on these shows as we head towards 2015 and the launch of them. Thanks.